Because I'm looking. If y'all start rolling y'all eyes at me, I'm going to start praying. We can stop right now and do intercessory prayer. So Vashti got beside herself. And all the king asked her to do was to dance. Come on in the room and dance. I guess Vashti was going through something. She was like, she ain't dancing. Long story short, he got rid of her. And Esther, whose name was, let me go into my notes because I want to say this right. Hadasha was her Jewish name. But Esther found favor in the eyes of the king because he had found him a new wife. And when he found him a new wife, he was like, I want y'all to gather up all the pretty ladies and I need y'all to bring them in here so I can pick, so I can see. Now Esther was pretty, but she wasn't doing like some women do today, is trying to make themselves sing. I wish I had somebody. There is nothing wrong because Esther adored herself. She went by the beautification protocol. But in churches sometimes I have to find a right way to say this. But I don't know if it's a right way to say this. But in the churchdom world, we have women that have become a little bit more like the world. If y'all getting me right now. I love to be fly. I do all kind of hair. I'm a hairdresser. I don't mind putting a little color in your hair. I don't mind a little spike and a little flip and a little all that. But what's more important to me is the attitude you have after you get it. Because the Bible wants it to, we should be beautiful. We should be sightly women, and we should look like the glory of the Lord is upon us. And there is nothing wrong with being fashionable, but sometimes we take that thing too far. Amen. I knew I wasn't going to get no whole bunch of people. See, I go to a church where we can wear pants and do all this and do all that. It's fine. But I'm praise and worship people. Can I just be real for a minute? Now, this is a commercial break. This ain't the whole meat of my message, but I got to stop here because we're in a women's conference, all right? Okay, so I'm the praise and worship leader. And God has recently saw fit for me to be one of the associate pastors at my church. Whew, I didn't ask for it, but he saw fit for such a time as this. To God be the glory. I'm done with that. But I told my praise and worship team, I said, look at here. I said, if y'all can give me one good reason why skinny jeans should be worn to church, y'all gonna try to convince me right now. Ooh, I knew I wasn't gonna get no way. Because as I travel across everywhere, I found that I don't know sometimes whether I'm in church or in the club or at the mall, because our women have lowered their standards so much and forgot what real beauty was. Tonight, I'm sorry. I hope ain't none of y'all got them, but you're wearing them bats on your eyes so heavy that don't nobody see the real you. You fan me when I walk past. I'm just sorry, but that ain't beauty. It's called a mask. What are you hiding? Ooh, I know I ain't popular tonight. So when Esther beautified herself, I'm sure it wasn't all of that. Sometimes I wonder how strong their eyelids are. Now I'm serious. I like the laugh, but I'm serious. I wonder how strong them eyelashes is, because I promise you I'll be sleeping all day. I'm talking about just walking that's what's on the inside of her. And when the beauty is on the inside of you, it radiates on the outside of you. So you ain't got to put on all of that if you don't want to. If you wear it, fine. If you don't, fine. Somebody gonna see the real you and desire the real you. I'm helping to now. Let me give my own personal testimony. When my husband found me, who Jesus? You know, I tell people all the time that back in my day, chocolate women wasn't needed. Thank God for Wesley's Nights and Take Gigs, you know, when they got on the movie scene and chocolate people became popular. Because we ain't always been popular. Can some of the chocolate people say amen? I will pick that on the playground. Cute hair, cute outfit, you black. I'm sorry. That's real. And you know what? It made me not recognize my beauty. It made me desire to want to be something else. It made me want to be subject to what everybody else look like. But how many just want to be different? You don't mind being on the outside, because it's those of us that are on the outside that's going to be on the inside after the ones on the inside get kicked out. I'm just saying. But when my husband found me, the first thing I thought was, this is a yellow man. What this yellow man want with me? I ain't his caliber. Because the other women, he's still listening, but the other women he had been with in the past, they was what you call divas. They wore the lashes and they had certain hairdos, and can I take it a step further? They had the shape. I ain't never had that many curves. The most curves I had was when I got fat, and they was in all the wrong places. I'm sorry. And I was trying to figure out, did I fit his world? But then God had to give me a revelation on it, because other women start looking at me like, and they would have the audacity to tell my husband, you married again? You married already? And then when they see my little chocolate self walk up, they be like, that's her? But see, what they don't understand was, I'm a Esther. I'm a faith walker. It's what's on the inside that what's on the outside that made me obtain favor with the king. And see, I'm in the word. I'm going to just get back to the story in a minute. There was one in competition. Can somebody say a Vashti, if you will? And she thought she was so pretty that he just wouldn't choose nobody else. Am I right about it, honey? But after she got ousted, and God sent me by, and I was minding my own business, the man said, I believe that you the one. And when I tell y'all her head's still reeling right now, because she thought she was cuter than me, and she was light skinned, and she wore 18-inch weave. I got some too. But if I take this weave off, I do got some up under here. The beauty that's on the inside. That was a commercial break. Back to the story. Look at somebody and say the intercessor. The faith walker. And the devil. Now, when you look at the story, long story short, Mordecai and Esther were cousins. They were Jewish. But Mordecai was in a place, he was a gatekeeper in the city. called Haman. But before Haman got put in position with the king, Mordecai was at the gate one day, and two of the gatekeepers of the guards got mad with the king and wanted to kill him. So what Mordecai did, Mordecai went, told Esther. Esther told her husband, and they were put to death. Now some of y'all get mad at First Lady. And I don't even know why the Lord's sitting here. But some people get mad at First Lady because she's watching out for her king. And if y'all looking crazy around here, she be picking y'all out. And then y'all want to... But keep on, you won't mess around and get put on the gallows. Because God will cut you off. Ain't nobody got to kill you. God will put you in a position where you either gonna repent or wish you was dead. Stop playing. Ooh. We're in a women's conference. So I'm gonna help you. Now, after that, a man named Haman got elevated in the kingdom. As a matter of fact, he was put to watch over the princes and all of that. So he had a high position in the kingdom, but he let his position make him haughty. He thought couldn't nobody do nothing with him. As a matter of fact, he began to trick the king into doing things his way. How many church folk y'all know that act like that? They get close to the preacher, the evangelist, the prophet. They be their armor bearers. But the whole time, the preacher and the pastor and the teacher and the prophet, they're trying to do the will of God. But you got that Haman walking with them that's maniacal and twisted and deceitful. And everything that's going on in the church, they ain't going to tell the whole truth, but they're going to twist that thing around and make it work for them. So Haman telling the king, you need to sign this decree. And I'm going to tell you why. He got mad at Mordecai. Because Mordecai said, I don't care what position you got. I'm not bowing to you like you know God. Let me start and pump it. Brother, you can get on the keyboard anytime you get ready and follow me. You ain't even get here.